Good morning, Rim Country. Chris Higgins in the studio for this morning's Community Spotlight program. Hoping that all of you are having a wonderful Wednesday. Another beautiful morning out there. I think the high today is supposed to be right in the mid-80s, so beautiful weather again here in Rim Country. This morning's program, we have the Beverage Place and Sommelier Judy Myczek in to talk about an event that they host every Friday, a wine tasting event that if you haven't had a chance to get out to this event, I really encourage you, if you like wine, then this is really the place to be on Fridays for a wine tasting. So good morning, Judy. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. And the wine tasting, I always have a little bit of trouble remembering the exact times. Is it
4:30 to 6:30?
4:30 to 6:30.
Mhm.
There we go. And that is every Friday, isn't it?
Every Friday, yep.
And now, I know before COVID, you were doing this for a while. Obviously, COVID put a little
Kink in it.
Yeah,
Yes.
But you have brought it back, and it's been received very well, hasn't it?
Yes, it is. Actually, it's something to do on a Friday night. Anyone who likes wine, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
it's something you can learn. You can socialize. We exercise your brain a little bit to kind of teach you what you're tasting and thinking about what you're thinking about as you're tasting, so that you're not just knocking it back, catching a little buzz.
Yes, and again, I pointed out you are a sommelier,
Yes.
so maybe explain a little bit about that, what that means, because that's not something that you just kind of take an online test for, and you spend 30 minutes, they send you a card in the mail.
Well, you believe it or not, some people do it that way.
What?
We actually have somebody who comes to the wine tasting who does that, who has
Okay.
done that. And obviously there's so much things online nowadays that
Gotcha.
you can even do that. I mean, you can become a priest, you can do all
Yeah,
kinds
that's
of stuff.
true.
Well,
That's
not
true.
a priest, maybe a pastor.
Yeah.
But a sommelier basically is just a wine expert.
Uh-huh.
You're knowledgeable in all aspects of wine.
Mm-hmm.
It's historical, which is kind of weird, that in the old days for royalty, for the kings, there was a sommelier who was actually the wine taster, so I would be the first one to die if it were poisoned.
Yeah.
And we still, to this day, taste wines before we do a tasting.
Mm-hmm.
So I still will taste all the wines to make sure that there's nothing, they're not
Off.
spoiled, they're
Yeah.
not off, they're not corked.
Yeah.
And I still taste them before we do the tastings, and that's what sommeliers do.
So thank you, Judy, for protecting all of us that are there at the wine tasting.
Happy to do my job, always happy to do it.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, it's so and that's great. It isn't just a case where people come in and they are just slamming it back like you said, or but they're it's being shared with them, just the different notes, the flavors, a little bit about the grape, the region, the country, and all of that.
Right, there's a lot, there's so much, and I mean, I can get really geeky about it too, and I know
Yeah.
I try not to go too much into geekdom, but it's like a little bit, just to give you a little bit of knowledge and give you a little bit of, just curiosity.
So this morning, if you're watching on our KRIM FM Facebook page, Judy brought in the 5 wines that they'll be featuring this Friday. And again, that's from 4:30 to 6:30 at the Beverage Place, located in the plaza by AutoZone, Legacy Home Furnishings, that
And
plaza.
T-Mobile.
Yeah, and T-Mobile, that's right next to T-Mobile now, on the McDonald's corner,
Right
there in that plaza. So you'll get a chance, if you're watching, you can see these wines, and you'll be able to sample at the Beverage Place this Friday. So let's start with these wines, because what I love is there's usually a very good selection of wines from different countries, from the U.S., but then also, as you'll see, the first one I think you'll be talking about is from Spain.
Yes, it's not always countries. I know you would like to think that every country would be different, but the U.S. is so vast that there's so many different terroirs in it, so many different soils and so many different microclimates that it does make a difference. And I did pull some, like from Paso Robles versus Washington State, because the soil is different, the climates are different, and it'll be the same grape, but it'll be a different taste because of that, which is just kind of, I think it's interesting.
It is very interesting. The climate, the seasons, how wet that year is.
If there were forest fires and all kinds of, there's all kinds of,
I remember you sharing that last time you were on with the forest fires in Australia, how much of an impact that had on the wines.
Yes.
And
just the other day we had somebody calling us up asking us if we had any white Pinot Noir. Now, Pinot Noir literally means black Pinot. So it's like that stumped us too. It's like, I don't know, let's look it up and see what the heck it is.
Yeah.
So we checked it out, and it's actually using the meat of the grapes, not the skins, because of the fires in Oregon. The fires that were like adding smoke to the skins, so it was adding smoke into the wines. Well, the meat of they didn't get past the skins, into the meat, so it didn't get that smoky. So they just did the wine without the skins, just used the meat, and then it became and then that's where it gets its color.
Yeah.
So it became white wine.
White. Wow.
So it was like a white black Pinot.
So, well, you're gonna today tell us a little bit about each of these wines and how they would be sampled this Friday. Again, that's 4:30 to 6:30 at the Beverage Place. So you would start off with this white wine from Spain. And, tell us a little bit about this. And
usually we start with the lighter and move on to the heavier.
Okay.
So the lighter one in this case would be the Murviedro, just Spanish white. This is a really cool. It's all 100% organic from Spain, and it's like a really cool winery there. Ancient winery. They've got caves underneath with still earthenware vessels that they stored wine in from like the 5th century.
Oh my God.
I mean, just, ancient.
Wow.
Really cool. I'd love to go visit it sometime.
Oh yeah.
But,
wow. And so what can people expect when they're tasting this, the different notes?
This one's totally dry. Very, like it says zesty in the notes. It is zesty because it's citrusy. Like this one's got like lemon peel, green apple, fresh apple blossom. So it's a little bit floral, but mostly citrusy. So think green apple and lemony kind of. Very clean and crisp. Good for a hot day.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking that. So especially with a little bit warmer weather, approaching, this would be a nice one. In the afternoon, late afternoon, when it's still hot outside.
Actually, yes, and clean and crisp, where it kind of goes with. It can go with anything light too. So I mean, it's not like one of those heavy oaked Chardonnays, which people are so in love with a lot of times. And this one's light, crisp, and clean, and just kind of refreshing. Nice for summer.
Oh, very nice. So then after that, we travel to Spain and sample the Chardonnay, where would we be?
We're going to go to California.
Oh, okay.
And this is just a general California appellation. It's they're gathering grapes from all over California.
Oh.
Which is the most inexpensive you can probably get. But California's kind of expensive anyway, so so it's not so it's kind of a misnomer.
Well, and I remember you saying that last program where the cost of the wine sometimes it also is real estate.
Yes.
So the real estate where the vineyard is, where the grapes are grown, and California real estate is premium.
Yes, it is. It most definitely is.
Yeah.
But this is the Angeline is a Pinot Noir from California, and this one is Martin Ray's winery. I don't know if it's also an old winery. First established in 1881 as a twin fir winery, and it's a historic site. Established as the first winery, like in contiguous operation in
Gotcha.
Sonoma,
Oh, okay.
and it's one of the oldest wineries in California.
Gotcha.
They were able to stay in operation during Prohibition by selling wine to rabbis in New York.
That's funny. So a connection, what's similar to Payson, we have the world's oldest continuous rodeo. This is the oldest
Yes.
continuous operating winery in Sonoma County.
Indeed it is.
Wow, there we
And
go.
it produces a pretty darn good wine too.
Yeah.
This one has like candied cranberry, raspberry, dark cherry with cola, toasted oak. They do oak it. A nice earthy backbone with smooth tannins, and it's fruit forward, and just easy drinking, easy to like.
Mm-hmm.
There's no things in there that might throw you off or might be objectionable.
Mm-hmm.
Just a nice easy drinking Pinot Noir, and that's always good with like lighter weight fish dishes.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it with chicken. You can do it with lighter weight dishes. I probably wouldn't do it with the steak. It might overpower the steak might overpower the wine.
Gotcha.
Because it is a lighter wine. But this one's also good for summer too because it is lighter.
It is lighter. Now you mentioned tannins,
Mhm.
and if people are listening and they've maybe heard, that mentioned tannins, but they really don't know what they are. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, tannins are it's probably the most important structural compound in wines.
Okay.
It gives the wine its pucker power.
Oh.
So like when you taste it, I taste tannins like right in this area of my jaw.
Okay.
It kind of sucks it in.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And tannins are good because when you pair wines with tannins, when you pair foods with wines with tannins in,
Okay. Yeah.
it helps to break down like the fattiness in your food, like a good marbled steak.
Okay.
It breaks that down and kind of scrapes your tongue clean.
Oh.
So everything kind of blends together. It's really a very nice thing to do. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
I really enjoy that. I like that feeling where it kind of cleans everything off, cleans your palate, gets you ready for that next bite.
Yeah, so it really enhances the experience.
Yes, it totally enhances it, yes.
So that's where pairings are so important, and that's where if you come to a wine tasting, again, every Friday from 4:30 to 6:30, you not only can taste the wines, but it can be recommended what you pair them with based on the tannins in the wine.
Mm-hmm. And there's more than just tannins in wine.
Mhm.
There's glycerol, there's acidity,
Mhm.
and there's all kinds of different things in wine, but tannins might be your most important thing because
Gotcha.
that really depends on what you're going to pair that with
Yeah.
as to if you enjoy that wine or not. You don't want to have something, like you don't want to do a high tannin wine with, say, a salad.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it kind of, you'll taste the tannins and you'll taste the acids in the salad.
Yes.
And I mean, you won't get them to blend together.
Blend, yeah.
That's why you're looking for something fattier and something richer
Mm-hmm.
for the tannins to break up into, meld with.
Gotcha. So not only is it a great social experience, especially if you're listening and if you're newer to Payson, to Rim Country, it's a great way to meet people out at the wine tasting because that's what wine is about. It's about socializing and being together and just having a good time with other people. But you get educated as well. Educated to what to pair with different wines, and that can help you when you're purchasing your wine for an event, for a dinner, or you want to have that nice steak, and what wine do I want to get with this steak, or you're having fish or a chicken, then you know which would be better. So that's great. So after that wine, what would you be moving on to?
Well, we're going from California, which is the Angeline, to the Elouan, which is an Oregon wine.
Oh, okay.
It's an Oregon, and it's also a Pinot Noir, so it's the same grape.
Uh-huh.
And it's from Oregon, which is a little bit different temperature, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It's the winery is actually from Joseph Wagner. I don't know if you've ever heard of Insignia, but that's a real flagship wine that everyone, like a really highly rated, highly sought after wine. expensive too, by the way.
Gotcha. Okay.
But Wagner moved some of his operations up into Oregon. I think because of climate change. I'm thinking that because it's getting kind of hot
California.
in
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
So they're looking for a little bit cooler temps for the Pinot Noir because that helps it meld better.
There you go.
So he moved up there with some of his stuff, and it's cooler. Of course, it's cooler. Not as hot of days and cooler nights. And it's also said that it had some coastal influence. So there should be it does have brighter acidity too, which means, and minerality, which means that might be from the coastal influence. Acidity and minerality both kind of come in from the coastal influence there. But it's also got red fruits in it too. So it's got raspberry, black cherry.
And this is still another light and bright wine.
It's going to be light and bright. It's going to be brighter probably than the Angeline. Angeline's going to be more smooth and mellow. This one's going to be a little bit more acidic, and might go pretty well with food because of the acidity. Because acidity is good for pairing with foods too.
Gotcha. All right. So that wine is from Oregon. Again, that's, and how do you say that?
Elouan.
Elouan Pinot Noir from Oregon. So then from there, where will you be taking it?
We will be going down to hot Paso Robles.
Oh, okay.
And that's where we're going with the next one, which is a Cabernet, and it's Eli Cabernet. It's by Eli Callaway, who was the golf club manufacturer.
Yeah. Okay.
So he opened up a winery, and they've got some long hot days there and cool crisp nights. They're about an hour away from San Diego in the Temecula Valley, which is a pretty up and coming wine region now in the Temecula. It's kind of cool to visit there. I did visit there, and they were just starting up about 10 years ago. And I'm thinking by now they're probably just as commercialized and big as Sonoma, I'm thinking. So
wow.
But Temecula's a big up and coming wine region now. This one has aromas and flavors of ripe plum, cola, red fruits, and notes of minerals and a touch of smoke. That smoke, not sure where that came from, but sometimes there is smoke in wines that's not from wildfires.
Gotcha. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, recently though, unfortunately, a lot of that is with so many fires.
I know.
Shoot. Yeah. So nice. And then that's the fourth wine. So then the last wine, where is that one from?
This one is from Columbia Valley, Washington State.
Oh, okay.
This one, they again went more north and cooler, crisper days. And it's more structured. There's more tannins in this wine.
Oh, okay.
Maybe because of the climate. There was different alcohol differences too. This one's got a higher alcohol also, which usually would be vice versa, which would be the hotter climate would have a higher alcohol. But in this case, it's just the opposite. So
yeah,
just to make a note of it. But it's bold and it's structured. Structure's another thing that it's the relationship in the different compounds of wine.
Okay.
Such as acid and tannins and alcohol and glycerol. So it's how they all balance everything out together, so you're not getting all acid, all tannin. Everything's blended together, so that you're getting a nice blend of everything there.
Okay.
And it's like it's got a
that one
blueberry and blackberry. I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
No, that's all right.
And dark chocolate. There's spices in there, and there's tannins in here too. But it's a little more tannic than this one, than the Eli there.
Yeah.
And that's part of the structure. It's just more structure. Structure's more like an old world term for the balance of everything in there.
Gotcha.
It's just nicely balanced.
And you mentioned tannins, kind of what tannins are. Glycerol. Can you, what is glycerol?
If I was thinking about bringing a wine glass
Oh, okay.
to show you, but it's when you've got wine in your glass and you swirl it, and then you look up at it, you see like legs coming down, or tears. People call them tears too sometimes. Glycerol is actually like it's from a term called the Marangoni effect, but it's caused by evaporation of alcohol affecting the surface area of the liquid. So wines with higher alcohol content usually have more legs.
Gotcha.
But it's what you see coming down.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool to notice too. It's part of what you do when you taste wine too, because first you look at it, you swirl it, so you observe it, you sniff it, you sip it, and then you assess it. So I mean, so it's like it's all those things in one, but it's kind of like how you just sort of go follow a certain little line of reasoning there to figure out what the heck you're drinking and if you like it or not.
Yeah. And then acidity. So that's kind of one of the last.
Yeah, acidity is one of my favorite things. I like acid in wines because I think acidity really helps with food pairing. I really do. I think it really makes wines go well with food. It's like it's actually it's a pucker or the tartness of it. But there's nothing better to me than a light white wine that's got a lot of acidity in it. It's just makes me want. It's like, think of lemonade. It's like it makes you want to have another sip. And I mean, there may be people who don't like acidity that much. Some people who like the heavier oaked ones that are creamy and toasty. But I'm an acidity person. I like my acids in my whites. I like acids in reds too, but especially in whites. I like it. Just nothing. It's just crisp and clean and refreshing to me. Just my own personal thing.
Yeah. Oh, and so these are the 5 wines again. The 5 wines every Friday. There are 5 wines that are featured at the Beverage Place at the wine tasting, and that's from 4:30 to 6:30. And then you also have some different meats, cheeses, crackers out for people to kind of cleanse the palate a little bit.
Yeah, we've got fruits and cheeses and crackers and meats. Chocolates.
Nice.
So,
and approximately, and it's great because you do 5 different wines every Friday, but you have so many different wines there that
I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's always fun to try and pick out something that's kind of interesting and different.
And you're getting new wines in quite often, aren't you?
Yes.
Wow. So, just a great selection. Now, if somebody can't make it out to the wine tasting, but they go in, usually are you there or Sylvia or somebody that can help?
Sylvia or myself, yes.
If people have questions regarding the wines.
And we can help them with any questions. If we don't know, we can look it up. We can surely find out for them. If we don't have it, we can look it up and see who's got it and see if we can get it in for people. We love doing special orders. So.
Oh wow, that's great. So if there's a wine, if you tried somewhere, you were out traveling abroad, and had a wine, really loved it, and would like to see if you can get it here.
Yeah, just tell me a little bit more than it had a red label with a crown on it. Just a little bit more information might help.
Well, hopefully what's great, and with these guys, with cell phones today, it's so easy, just
and it is, it's so much easier now.
Yeah, you take a picture of, the label, and that way, and you can show it to somebody, show it to Judy or Sylvia, and they can look it up, see if they can order it in. Again, if you just like wine but don't know much about it, the wine tasting is just a great way to get out, maybe meet some new people in the community, and enjoy some wine and learn. So, and if you don't want to learn about wine, you don't have to. You can just drink it. So,
Yeah, you can just ignore all my words.
there you go. So yeah, whatever you're looking for, it's good. So well, thank you so much for bringing the wine in, Judy, and going through those. And again, this is every Friday. Now, you also sometimes there'll be other items, another alcohol or something that is
Oh yeah,
tasted as well.
towards the end, at the very end, after the wines, usually because the alcohols that we will taste people on it are heavier. So
Yeah.
as we go from light to heavy,
Yeah.
sometimes there'll be tequila, sometimes bourbon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Sylvia will give you a little taste of that, and you can try those too. And we've got like a whole little cabal of bourbon people who
Yeah.
like to come in and
Oh.
try that. So
Yeah.
it's not every week, but very often.
Yes. And I know it was approximately a month ago when Sylvia, she got in the Casey Jones.
Yep.
And one of the there was some bourbon and then also a moonshine.
Yes.
Ooh, my goodness.
I didn't even try it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So yeah, you can try a lot of different things. You never know, what to expect. So it's fun. And Beverage Place, located right next to the new T-Mobile store.
Yeah.
And also AutoZone in the little shopping center there in the McDonald's parking lot. So again, well, thank you, Judy.
It was lovely coming here. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
Yes.
Thank you for letting me speak about my wines.
Oh, you are so welcome. You're so welcome. Love learning more about the wines, and I know I haven't been able to make it out there the last few Fridays. Hopefully this Friday it'll work out.
You will be tasting these wines. You've got a lovely,
There
preview
we go.
here.
A nice assortment. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening this morning, and again, thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring our Community Spotlight program. Have more great music coming up with U2, John Cougar, Oasis, the Kinks, and more. But first, let's get an update from the National Weather Service.
Forecast for Payson and surrounding areas. I'm nowcast meteorologist Jim.
There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Go. See you later.